Hi there. I wanted to talk about how my reputation precedes me. Uh, in part because of my social media and other aspects. I guess it's probably mostly my social media, whether people actually know about it or not. Um, I mean that in the sense that it could be that only a certain select group of people actually know of my channel and can actually go to it. Uh, and some of those people are going to work for YouTube. And there's always a local kind of organization that handles this sort of stuff. Um, some of the things I've said on YouTube have not been very nice things. They've been very serious things and very real truths about the world. And there are actually things that could quite easily make people paranoid, and who knows what could happen there. It's just I've done things in particular to see what kind of reaction I would get. And so it was vagueness and almost nothingness, and it's very hard to get definitive answers about anything from anybody about anything. A few months ago, this is probably about 6 months ago, I blew 27. Excuse me. I blew $2,700 on beauty products that I didn't need and don't really work. I kind of figured that would probably happen anyway. The thing is, the woman who approached me about purchasing these things, she worked at a store, and she actually came running out of it and grabbed me by the arm and was like, "Oh, you must come in." Yeah. It doesn't work on most people, but me, I went along with it. Okay, it was not a very smart move on my part, but actually there are some good things that I can pull out of it. Yeah, so I did spend $2,700 on that, and this woman, she was fanatical. She actually reminded me of that woman in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, that crazy woman who chases Bob Hoskins. A little bit of her she reminded me of. But yes, I went along with it. In fact, we exchanged some emails. I gave her my phone number. She phoned once or twice. I didn't answer the first time because I was at work. And another time, I just missed it, and I phoned back. And some dude answered, and he sounded like a zombie on the phone. He's like, "What? Who? I was like, "Yeah, right, I don't know what you're up to, but yeah, that's enough of you. I don't want to talk to you." The thing is, when we exchanged emails, my email address is my name, my full name, and plus some other characters, which I'm not going to tell. Anyway, she sent a couple emails back, mostly on instructions on how to use these beauty products. Her English wasn't too good as far as being able to read goes. So the thing is, the entire time I knew her, I pitched a story to her, that my father was a sergeant major, which is not true, but my grandfather was. So it's, I'm not completely lying. I'm just pulling a little fib. And I did an enchanting story. I looked as though I was very, calm and unconcerned about spending that kind of money. A lot of people would be really stressed about that, and they'd get in a lot of trouble. I know for a fact if I had a girlfriend and she found out I spent that kind of money, she would blow up at me. But I did it for a good reason. Um, so yeah, she knew my full name. Guaranteed, she'd have checked out my Facebook, found my YouTube channel, and then guess what? I got a devoted fan who's a fanatic, and perhaps sees potential in my channel, especially with the kind of content that I bring up. And once one chick starts talking, another chick starts talking, and more chicks start talking, and then all of a sudden you get more attention. Now you may look at some of my videos and go, this guy's barely got 5 views and this thing's been up for a month. Well, that's not how views work on YouTube. The thing is, you could get 1,000 people to watch your video just because you happen to know 1,000 people, but if it isn't saying the message that YouTube wants to be said, it'll only say X amount of people have seen it. Like, people will click on it, watch it, and it won't count as a view. But most people don't have 1,000 friends they could go tell to go watch a video. In fact, hardly anybody does. And the people who do know that probably know something about YouTube as well, so because they're connected, they know things about things. It doesn't make them smarter, it just makes their availability to information a bit better than your average person's. Most people give up on making YouTube channels. They go, well, I'm not making any money, I'm not getting any opportunities, I'm not getting any views, I'm not getting any positive feedback, so they quit. But me, I'm not going to quit. If I have to make videos until I'm 90, I will. Anyway, like that chick, I could totally tell she was into me. She was Russian, she was short. I like them short. Not too short, but I like them, probably about 5'7", 5'9" is the height I like them at. Yeah, she was quite attractive in her own way. Probably the more crazy of the girlfriends of late that I had. And it's kind of sad because, as I said, that was like 6 months ago. Because she quit that job afterwards and she just sort of disappeared. And of course, because my dad and my brother found out that I'd spent $2,700 on it, they immediately ransacked my room and took away the thing with her email on it, and I'd forgotten her phone number. I get all kinds of weird numbers phoning me for different reasons. Nothing ever really good though. And then oddly enough, my messenger, my email, started just periodically deleting messages. Maybe this happens with everyone, but I can't find a setting on my phone that doesn't delete the messages. It just doesn't make any sense because when I had MSN before, well, this isn't MSN, this is email. It is MSN. I don't know. The thing is, I would have hundreds of emails that were there for years, and they wouldn't disappear. But these ones, they disappear after a couple of weeks, and it doesn't matter what I do. There was no setting to change that. It doesn't help that I don't actually remember the password in my email. It's just already automatically on my phone. I'm sure I could figure it out if I just put some effort into it. Yeah, so the thing about this chick was I pitched a fantastic story. I actually, from certain angles, am quite a handsome man. I had money. She was egotistical, self-serving, maniacal, a whole pile of other things. And I'm willing to believe she didn't give a rat's ass about me. I understand it was just the money she wanted. But she most certainly would have had the impression that there was more to be had. And if she thought that, she'd invested more time. I know she would have. I know that for a solid fact. She would have gone, let's go have some drinks. Let's do this. Let's do that. Why don't you come around the store again? Because she told me she worked at a few different stores, so she would have told me where else she worked. There were things going on in the background that I didn't know about. And I didn't need to know about them. I still like her, even if she doesn't care about me or anything like that, because she was useful. She brought a whole new audience to my channel because, like I said, you don't say the kind of things I say and I don't get a response. What they do is they isolate you. They control the immediate environment around your channel, and in my case, around your whole life, and only certain messages and only certain things get said to you, and they're far and few between. And if you don't make things happen, nothing will happen. People will just continue talking to you like you're stupid. They'll continue being obsessive compulsive. And it's not that they're being smart, it's just you cannot get an answer out of them. They won't say anything. They control the environment that you're around, so it's just a mechanism. It's a mechanism to stop you from having communication. And those people can be very hard to deal with in today's society because immediately they become extremely butthurt if you get angry with them. You start going, look, you're lying to me. I know you're lying. And this I'm not going to talk routine's not going to work because I know you're lying. And it doesn't matter what you say and what you do, you are lying. But then they'll turn around and say you're being abusive. So, and there are people who will rather believe them than you. If you're in the current predicament I'm in, where I've said things that don't conform with normal society, it's not that my ideas are unheard of. I know some people most certainly know of them, and they have various controls to keep their mouth shut. And plus, I guess it's not really a good thing to tell people certain things about the world and how things work and how history was. But I feel the need to say certain things because there are some things people are oblivious to. And ignorance is not bliss in this particular case. It's just there are things that aren't safe. And there will be people who would tell you it is. There's two types of people that will tell you things are safe. Like I made a video saying, don't go to Asia, it's not safe. But there are two kinds of people who will say that. There's the stupid people who have gone there themselves, or they have a lot of Asian friends, or whatever, and they will say it's safe, because they don't know any better. And then there are those who do know the bad things about it, and say it's safe anyway, because they figure they've made deals or whatever to make it safe. Although they're very aware that there are certain characters in that part of the world that can never be trusted. That's just the bottom line. They can't be trusted. They never can be, and they never will be, ever. And I'm not going to go to a place with lunatics that think like that. Okay, we've got some people with far out ideas in our own country. But it's different. It isn't like I'm trying to think of a thing that can describe exactly what it is. Okay, basically it's these if you watch that Disney movie Hercules, there's this one scene where Hades is talking to the witches, and the witches have this string, and they cut the string of a soul, a person down on Earth, and then their soul ends up going into wherever, and yeah, that can totally happen. And the thing is, part of the reason Asia isn't safe is that they can come up with different reasons for just doing bad things to people, and they can seemingly have nothing to do with you outside of their need to have a body. You happen to fit the position that they need for whatever it is they want to do, whatever excuse they need, and they figure, well, one life, not a big deal, and you may go, well, Asians are pissed off about Vietnam and how the Americans killed a bunch of Vietnamese. What's the difference if they kill, a bad American in what's their jurisdiction? But it's not just that. Like, if you think it's just a public hanging or death by firing squad, you've been mistaken. They torture them, make them disappear, do every hideous, horrible thing to them, and they'll just continue doing this, and they'll do it at random, and you won't see them coming because they're shadow. It's like Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust with the character Benki, which is this disgusting, horrid, ugly, despicable, sleazy character that hangs around in the shadows and just stabs people in the back, and you won't see it coming. The thing is, in Asia, they fine-tune that to the point where the government can regenerate itself through the generations to be exactly the same thing as it was, and it can continue doing these bad things. Now, in Western culture, we don't have that same sort of problem. There's always somebody out there that knows things, and it's not as controlled as that. Sure, there are Bengies out there in Western culture, in Canada and the US, but they can be seen. They can be got. They can't just, stab people in the back and laugh about it and get away. And these are, look, I've talked about a few things here, but I happen to know that with what I talk about, that what they've chosen for me, had I been an Asian man in Asia, they'd have killed me. That's the bottom line. Here, got a sore throat, one they refuse to treat. They can treat it, but they won't, unless I make them. I'll think of a way to do that. Because, like I said, they need a body to do what it is they want to do. So they'll label people. They'll judge them. They'll say slanderous things about them that aren't true. And they'll just continue doing this, and since you don't actually hear it, if you confront them about it, they'll deny it and call you paranoid. But I happen to know for a fact that my reputation precedes me. Because as I said, I've done things that warrant a response. Or maybe that's not the right word, but like some sort of reaction should have happened, but it didn't. And I've done things to prove this. I can't get an answer out of people. They just refuse to talk. And it can be, very difficult for a person like me to properly comprehend exactly what's going on. The way I look at it is, I'm an Illuminati foot soldier. I don't know nothing, I can't do nothing, and I'm just being pushed along to whatever it is that the powers that be want me to do, but they're doing it in such a way that I don't know their faces, don't know their names, don't know what they want, don't know what they plan to do to me, don't know what's going on, but I'm being gently pushed into a certain direction. And unfortunately, I'm similar to other characters who have been in similar predicaments as me, but they have failed. They went to hell because they fucked up. They didn't know how to play the game. And I don't entirely know all the rules, but I think I can play the game and know how to win. Because I think part of the reason they have this program is because, well, throughout history, there's been military intervention, military conflicts and things like that were questionable. Bad things happened in them, they did bad things, they screwed up in certain ways, and these operations happen all the time. So if your family tree is known for having military history, such as mine, I've had uncles and my grandfather and all those sorts who have had military action. My grandfather was a master sergeant in India from 1930 to 39. I have no clue what happened there, but the English probably weren't very nice when they were there. And there most certainly are people in India that would howl for the blood of people who have done misdeeds in the past. But since my grandfather has been dead for over 60 years, he isn't there, but I am. And if I have the similar mindset as him, then it's almost as if they're blaming me. And sure, I could have not ever gone to social media. Sure, I could have had a normal life. But if I wanted something more of myself, if I wanted to actually, I don't know, try and change the opinions of some people through social media, this, that, and the other, trying to accomplish something, become maybe somewhat of a YouTube personality where I make a little bit of money doing this and that. There are forces that be that go, well, your ancestor did this, and we don't think you should have the right to enter the upper echelon of society without going through the proper channels, such as going to school, being programmed, given reasons and conditions that keep you controlled, keep you in a certain fixated spot. Like, I can go to school and learn how to do a number of things, but because I have a mental health background, there are some jobs I'll never get. And you know what? I wouldn't even want them anyway. Yeah, so it's almost as if you're being punished for the sins of the fathers. Of course, it may not seem this way, even to very intelligent people. They may go, well, I didn't see it, how could that possibly be true? Like my mental health goons, they didn't know that they were doing the Illuminati's dirty work by giving me the sore throat. They were just following their protocol for mental health. They thought it was just another hum-day, work-a-day activity for them to do, is to give someone a sore throat based on the conditions that I came in there with and the circumstances of things, and their misjudging of my character. And when they saw opportunity to proceed with this treatment that they knew was abusive, based on unfounded paranoia on their part, simply because they didn't want to listen to me, they didn't care what I had to say. They thought I was just a a drooling moron and I'd waste their time, well, you're entitled to your opinion. You're wrong, but you're entitled to your opinion. And they were pushing for me to just sort of drift back into society, to kind of go back into the background and, just sort of slink away. That's what they wanted me to do. But that would mean I'd never get payback for the sore throat I got. That would mean I'd never get payback for the years of not having a healthy social life. That would mean I'd never get payback for never having real girlfriends. Just all the other things I've been deprived of. And I'm sorry, if you want me to roll over and play dead because of some existential, extraterrestrial insanity, then it just ain't gonna happen. I'm not gonna go away because you want me to. And I will use my superior intellect to effect change. And this country was leaning towards a direction I did not agree with at all. I've lived with it most of my life, understanding that there's something screwed up about what the scene is here. And I'm not saying there are bad characters out there in power, although there are, but there are a lot of good characters out there. They've just made the wrong decisions I don't agree with. And yeah, if it's one thing mental health has taught me, it's that you sometimes, to make important decisions, you have to be able to sit in a room with people you don't trust, do not like, and you have to negotiate with them without, completely wigging out at them, which would be tempting, but it wouldn't actually solve anything. It wouldn't actually go away. Yeah, because they can always program someone else to think and behave exactly like them. Yeah, well, I've covered the gist of some certain subjects, and I know with some people they go, "Oh, you don't have a link. You didn't read a book. It's not in a book. Justin Trudeau didn't say that, or Donald Trump didn't say that, or it's not on the television, or this, that, and the other. You don't have any proof. You're just speculating. You're coming up with a story." It's called deductive reasoning. That's how detectives do their work. They don't always have a book that says, this is what it is, every time. Okay, sometimes there are people who, fall into certain categories, and you can predict how they're going to behave next quite easily. But it's not always like that. Yeah. Yeah, this is really frustrating, like I'm not even an angry person. I don't think angry thoughts about anything, really. I do know there are assholes out there, though. A lot of them. And I know there are a lot of stupid assholes out there. And I derive no pleasure in causing someone grief that they don't really deserve it, and I'm not gonna use, bogus, outside, weird reasoning for, you know, being an asshole. I don't dig that, man. Um, so I think the sore throat should be done away with. Um, of course, with my doctor, it would become very hard for me to trust him. I suppose I would take a prescription from him if he explained what it is, what it does, no games, and if it actually helps my sore throat and nothing else bad comes from it. And if he doesn't prescribe something like that, as a voluntary patient, I am not taking it. I'll just have to live through this discomfort for, I don't know how long it'll take for it to wear off, but hopefully not that long. I have heard 3 to 6 months. I've heard a year from the internet, so I don't know. But I don't think I should have a sore throat. And I don't care if there are some people who are really angry at me and this is their way of getting their petty kicks on me, simply because I contradicted them. I'm gonna be a problem in the future. And given the wrong circumstances, I will refuse to cooperate with people. I'm not going to be told what to do. And I don't care if some people have worked very hard on my channel or done this and that. If they've supported bad things about me, if they've fucked up, I don't give a shit. They're gone. And I don't ever want to meet them. And make no mistake, the first person who approaches me, out of the blue, I'm going to be very, very suspicious of them. It's different when I pick out the places I go to, when I pick out the people I talk to, because I know they're just common everyday people, got nothing to do with nothing, and I like it that way. Somebody enters my life, and they've made it a point to enter my life, I'm going to be very suspicious of them. I'm not going to trust them, and at the beginning, I'm not going to like them. And they've had too much time to lie, too much time to come up with lies. They can never be trusted, no matter how plausible they try to make their story. Because words scribbled down on a book, blogs on the internet, video and written ones, accounts from people around that person saying how wonderful a person this is, they've done this and that for you, and this, that, and the other, is not conclusive evidence. I didn't see it for myself, I don't know, and I don't trust you. Not some pushover, not some ball of jelly that you could just be molded into thinking what people want me to think. It's a very confusing time for me, so understandably my videos are a little bit confusing. It's hard to fully comprehend my situation given the lack of intellectual resources that I have. You know, I get clues here and there, but and the internet is kind of opening up in sort of a way, because this is my window to the world, really. Sure, I have social experiences elsewhere, but not to my liking. Yeah, there's spies everywhere. Yeah, I don't know what to think. But anyway, I'm going to be on my best behavior. I promise you that. So, you assholes that are watching me and have negative thoughts about me, go fuck yourself. Anyway, see you guys later.